Quick question. What are you doing this weekend? This weekend is probably the most important weekend in our movement's history in terms of highlighting the dreadful sexual abuse, rape, sometimes murder, intimidation of a generation of English girls. For 40 years, the children, and they are children, little girls, many of them 11, 12, 13 years old, have been terrorized, brutalized, and raped by gangs of organized criminals. Those organized criminals come from one specific community, which we all know about. On Saturday in Telford at 2 o'clock, there's going to be a demonstration, and a film's going to be shown highlighting not just the story anonymously of girls who've been brutalized and raped, but a very, very brave young woman is going to stand up and be counted. She has stood up and be counted. And she's basically going to tell everybody exactly what happened to her. And not only is she going to tell everybody exactly what happened to her, she's going to name the people who trafficked her, who abused her, and who raped her. And those people are going to have a light shone on them. And what's going to happen on Saturday is truth is going to be told. And someone said, the truth will set you free. Well, hopefully the truth that gets told on Saturday will end up landing some very serious criminals in prison. And if not in prison, a light will be shone in their faces that will make them blush until the day that they die. I've seen the film. I've had a pre-screening. I know all the people who were involved in making the film. I know what they came up against. I know that there are many sinister people who tried to stop this film being made. I know that the police in Telford seem to have some sort of a problem with this film. So get to Telford on Saturday. If you haven't been to any other demonstrations, get to this demonstration. We all know who made the film. We all know the risks that man has taken in not just making this documentary, but for the last 10 years, 15 years actually, highlighting serious organized crime. And what we're talking about here is basically a rape jihad mafia. That's what's operating. People who are organized, criminal gangs who are organized, who are targeting these children, get them hooked on drugs, get them hooked on alcohol, targeting the most vulnerable people in our society, preying on them. And they strut around our country with complete impunity, completely free from any critique or criticism. So Saturday, Telford, get there as early as you can. It's absolutely going to be the biggest event that has ever happened in our movement in terms of the story. The film is so well made, so professionally researched. What people have got to understand about this film, and I've been privileged to know the people that made this film. You've got army veterans, you've got former intelligence officers, you've got former policemen, you've got investigative journalists, you've got people who are trained to do research into these sort of issues, who've been working on this film for the past 18 months. This is not just something that the filmmaker has dreamt up. This has been thoroughly researched and very, very professionally made. And it will rock the world of these people who have been acting with impunity. And I'm going to give you an example. One of the suspects, there was a 100% DNA match to a fetus and the young woman who was raped. He was caught when he was arrested with an amount of Class A drugs in his possession, and there was a 100% DNA match, and the police decided there would be no further action. And the girl that was raped, I think, was 13 years old when she was raped. That's just one story out of many, many stories of intimidation, of corruption, of cover-up, of the police literally rolling over and letting these gangsters, and that's what they are, and again, this does not reflect on the whole of the community that they come from, but those gangsters are some of the most prominent men in those communities, and that's very, very worrying, and that's something that's going to be highlighted. So Saturday, I'm not going to say any more about the film. All I'm going to say is I know who made the film. I know how much diligence they put into making the film. I know how they were opposed and are still being opposed by gatekeepers and very, very sinister forces in Telford. But the film is going out. Nothing's going to stop it going out. The film is naming and shaming people that have got away literally with rape and possibly murder for over 40 years in Telford. So be there on Saturday. I would get there as early as possible. I think the muster point, or the point where everyone's meeting up, is the station, is Telford Central train station. I would be there as early as you possibly can. If you can get there for 11 o'clock, get there for 11 o'clock. Hang about there. And make sure you're in early, because obviously the quicker the demonstration starts, the quicker we can all see the film. So anyway, that's my piece promoting Saturday. It's going to be a very, very interesting day, and it's going to be a day that hopefully will make a massive difference in pursuing these people that have acted with absolute impunity for the past 40 years, right the way up and down this country. Serious organised crime being ignored and covered up by the authorities. It's time to draw a line in the sand. Saturday will be the day when that line is drawn. See you all soon.